Okay, welcome everyone. I'm here with my new friend Science Rules. He's a guy that just contacted me and asked me if we could have a hangout, and I said sure. And so we're gonna discuss my existence for God. And then he said that he had some difficulty in understanding some of the terms that I use. I want to know if he could do some screen share during the hangout, and I said sure. So anyway, that's what we're going to do. So Science, welcome. I'm glad we could get together.
Okay, cool. I want to know what you think. I mean, what the word "exist" mean to you?
To be.
To be.
Mhm.
Um, okay. So, for example, how can I say that something exists?
It's something that actually has being. It really is. Has ontological status.
Okay, I don't know what ontological status means, so I will write it.
Ontology is the study of being.
Okay.
Has like ontic, I think is the basic word for it.
Okay. So how can I test if something exists or not? So
Well, you're going to have to rely on your sense perception at a basic level.
okay. Okay. For example, let's say uh, if I have okay, actually a software engineer, so I usually think in terms of math and computers all the time. Okay,
Okay.
so I don't understand what to be exactly means.
Um, hmm. I mean, it would be something that to exist means that it is nothing, like something as opposed to nothing, a true nothing. So even an idea, in a sense, has some type of existence because it's a concept that is thought of.
Okay, so it has existence. What in which way does it have existence? An idea.
In that it's something that I am conveying to you. It's a thought. It's something that is a
So you mean
propositional.
to say it need not be physical?
No, it doesn't have to be physical.
So exist is not related to physical existence.
Oh, yeah, it's related to it, but it's not a necessity to say that something must be physical in order to exist.
So you mean to say the conclusion that you're going to arrive, it need not exist physically.
No, it cannot exist physically because physicality is limited and therefore it's contingent by definition. In other words, uh, it's finite. That which is finite must have its being in that which is infinite.
So that means we cannot use logic to show its existence.
Why not?
Okay, let me put it a different way. Okay, we can't use our sense perceptions to show its existence.
Oh, okay, yeah. See, the two foundations I'm going to have epistemologically, which is how you know what you know. That's a study of knowing. The two presuppositions that I must have are sense perception and logic. So, um, and the only thing I need sense perception for is for my own existence as an inquirer. If an
Okay.
inquirer, okay,
Okay, you say you have two presuppositions, right?
yes,
Okay, what is a presupposition?
it's something that you have that you start with as a beginning point.
Or
Uh,
is it a premise or a presupposition?
um, either one would work, I suppose. You could say a
Okay,
premise.
because both mean different things.
Oh, I don't. How so? No, I mean for the. I mean they're not the same word, but I'm saying my premise and I have to presuppose a premise in order to begin. I'm not presupposing
Okay,
something that.
okay, if you say I exist, right?
Uh-huh.
When you say the word I, it already presupposes that you already exist. You don't have to qualify the word exist to it.
Uh, okay. Yeah.
Okay, that's the difference between a presupposition. Okay, a presupposition, do you think is it true always or what?
No, I'm just saying provisionally it's got to be true in order for us to have any inquiry. So I'm just asking for that as a foundation.
So provisionally true means it's not true all the time. It can be true sometimes, it can be false sometimes.
No, I'm saying that I have to take it as an epistemological foundation, and I say that I cannot say it's true all the time because I myself am contingent. Only omniscience knows something with absolute certainty.
Okay, that doesn't matter for our argument. We are not concerned about whether somebody else knows it or not, right?
Well, here's what I'm asking. I'm asking, will you grant those two premises? That's basically for us to have a conversation. We got to have those two things.
It depends on what those things are.
Well, logic and basic sense perception.
Okay, what do you mean by logic?
Law of non-contradiction. Something cannot be and not be at the same time in the same relationship.
Okay. Law of something can be and
Something cannot be. I'm sorry. Something cannot be and not be at the same time in the same relationship.
cannot be and
At the same time and in the same relationship.
okay. Did I get it right?
I can't read. All I can read is the very top of your page here. I don't know why. All I see is exist to be an ontological study of being and in universe. That's all I can see. Oh, here we go.
Okay. So now here, what do you mean by something?
It's something cannot be and not be.
Be what?
Drop your first not there in your definition there.
Okay.
I'm sorry. Something cannot be.
Something can be and cannot be at the same time.
I'm sorry. Something cannot. I can't read it except when you talk. So that's. I'm not sure what you're saying.
Okay.
Maybe you did have it correct. Say something, Ian.
Okay, let me do this one. If I set it to a presentation.
You may have had that correct the first time.
Okay, something can be and not be at the same time in the same relationship.
No, I apologize. I just said it wrong. You had it right. Something cannot be and.
Something cannot be and not be at the same time. Okay, what something cannot be?
Say it again.
Okay, you said something cannot be and not be at the same time, right?
Yeah. For example, I cannot exist talking to you right now and then say that I am not existing at the same time in the same relationship.
Okay. Before this, I have to. What logic are you using for this argument? Are you using classical logic?
I guess I don't know.
Okay. Okay. Do you know what the modern logics are?
No.
Okay. We have propositional logic. We have first order logic. Have you heard of those before?
You said propositional logic and what?
First order logic. It is also called quantification logic.
No, I'm ignorant of that.
Okay. Okay. Propositional logic, it only deals with propositions.
Uh-huh.
And to express the laws like law of non-contradiction, you can't use propositional logic. It doesn't have the capacity to do it. So we have to go with first order logic. First order logic is also called quantification logic. It has what is called quantifiers.
Okay.
So that's why I'm asking. So you are just using classical logic, right?
Whatever logic you're going to use, you're going to employ the law of non-contradiction in order to apply it.
Correct. But the version that your version has a problem with it.
Okay. Go ahead.
It is not applicable all the time.
Show me.
Okay. It only it doesn't apply to non-existent things.
Yeah, because non-existent things don't exist.
So this doesn't apply to non-existent, so it has limitations.
A thing is not non-existence.
Huh?
Things do not have non-existence.
No, you said something, right? Your law says something cannot be and not be at the same time.
Right. And if
Okay.
it doesn't exist, it's not a thing.
Okay. So you mean to say that there is always something?
I'm saying if something contingent exists, you, the inquirer, or I, the inquirer, exist, then something exists necessarily all the time.
Okay. Before that, you said I exist, right? Your first presupposition.
As an inquirer,
Okay.
yes.
Okay. Can I take that you are a part of the universe and the universe exists?
It's not necessary, but you can.
Okay. And from this, the law of contradiction, as you put it, can I take it that something always exists?
If something contingent exists, which is me, then something necessarily always exists.
No, I'm not asking if it's something you or not. You said this law is true, right? It talks about existing things.
Um, yes.
Okay, so in other words, the universe is eternal.
There must be an element to the universe that is eternal, yes.
Okay. If you can agree to that, then I think I can grant you those two things. Okay, before this, before we continue with, I want you remember you always talk about Heraclitus and Parmenides.
Yes.
Okay, can you please tell me again?
Heraclitus and Parmenides were pre-Socratic philosophers who
Yep.
they don't know who came first, but
I think Heraclitus came first.
well, yeah, it's under dispute, but yeah.
Okay. Okay.
So we'll say Heraclitus came first, and Heraclitus said that everything is changing. Nothing is the same. When you put your foot into a river, everything is changing, and the river's changing. You're changing, and when you come out, you're different. And Parmenides said that whatever is. There must be some unchanging element. Otherwise, if everything is complete change and there's no continuity, then there's really no existence.
Okay. So he says there's some unchanging element.
Yeah, well, Parmenides said there was no such thing as change. He doubted change, I think.
Okay. So
Heraclitus said everything is change.
okay. So I still don't I mean I'm typing it here. What
Uh-huh.
did Parmenides say? Whatever is right.
Yeah.
So do you agree with Parmenides or you agree with Heraclitus?
Well, I believe that you got to account for both of those, and that's the big dilemma. That's what caused the great skepticism before Socrates came in. One of the things. I mean, there are several things that applied or contributed to it, but that was a conundrum. That again, this is kind of the unity and diversity thing, which I contend is the very central difficulty of Western philosophy, which I
Okay.
believe is the Christianity offers an answer for.
Okay. So your position so you're like in between.
No, I think they both can be synthesized together.
Okay. So is the river changing?
Yes, it's contingent. Contingency is marked by change. It's an effect. Cause must ultimately be something that is unchanging. No.
Okay. So what is contingent?
It's something that's dependent for its existence. It could either exist or not exist, as opposed to a category called necessity or necessary being, which is not subject to change. It is self-existent.
So is the universe necessary?
Must be a necessary element to the universe, which I would say is gone.
Okay, is God necessary?
Yes.
Why is God necessary? We can do it with the universe where there is no God.
No, you can't even exist unless God gives you
Yeah,
that.
I mean, I don't have to exist. There can be no universe at all. There can be nothing at all.
If there ever were a time when there absolutely nothing, then what would we have today?
So that means God is not necessary.
If we exist, God is necessary.
Okay. So something. Okay, contingent is something that depends on something else for its existence.
Yes.
So you mean to say you're contingent?
Yes.
How are you contingent?
I can be acted upon. I'm dependent. If I don't eat, I die.
So if you eat, you're gonna stay alive all the time.
No. It just says that I'm dependent for my existence. I'm not self-existent. There are two categories: contingent and necessity or necessary
No,
existence.
I'm understanding what contingent means. So something that depends on something else for its existence, right?
Yes.
Okay. So if you don't eat, you're gonna die. That's
Yeah.
why you're eating.
Um,
That's why you say you're depending on something else.
yeah, and I'm getting older. I'm changing, and the sun can burn me, and I can stub my toe.
Okay, there's something else is gonna. Okay, if you don't eat, are you gonna? You're gonna. Okay, if you eat, are you still gonna live?
If I eat,
Yeah, if you
yes.
eat,
In order to
if
exist, I
all the
need.
depend if all the dependencies for your existence are satisfied, are you still gonna exist forever?
Well, what I mean by contingent is whatever it is that gives me existence, I'm dependent upon that. So ultimately, I'm dependent upon God for my existence. But
No, that's not what that we are still we have. So are you assuming God already exists?
no,
So we're going to derive.
that's my conclusion. Yeah.
Okay, that's your conclusion. So we are not to God yet, right?
Well, yeah, I'm saying if you are contingent, then you must be dependent upon that which is self-existent, which is God. But
No,
but in
no,
a temporal sense, I'm sorry.
we are still looking into what contingent means.
Okay.
We have not gone through self-existence yet. I'm trying to understand what contingent means in the first place.
Well, you can't understand contingent unless you know it in relation to self-existence.
Okay, so what is self-existence?
Because it's cause and effect, basically. So contingency is an effect, and self-existence is a cause. And if that's an analytic
So
statement,
which caused that cause?
if something caused it, then it would be an effect, right?
Say it again.
If something caused the cause, then that cause is an effect ultimately, right? It's not a cause.
Yeah, but they should. Okay, so you said something. Okay, this, what caused self-existence?
If something caused it, then it would be an effect, right? And it wouldn't be a cause. Does that make sense?
Not really. Okay, let me.
It,
Okay,
if you want to say this is Bertrand Russell's problem, he misunderstood. You know who Bertrand Russell is?
yeah, I know.
Okay, he misunderstood the principle of causality, and he said, if everything he got it from John Stuart Mill, if everything that exists needs a cause, then manifestly God would need a cause, and you've answered really nothing. But the problem is he misunderstood causality. Causality doesn't say that everything needs a cause; it says every effect needs a cause. And the way that he understood it just makes causality nonsense, because if something causes the ultimate cause, then it by definition is an effect because it happened. You got to have something that doesn't happen. You got to have something with pure being, pure actuality. In other words, there can't be any Heraclitus without a Parmenides in their philosophical thinkings.
Okay, but in some sense they both are right, and some sense they both are wrong.
Well, yes, there must be a synthesis between those two. That's the whole point.
But as the way we understand it today, the universe, it's a lot different, right? We got more knowledge about the
No,
universe.
no, not a bit. In fact, it's been well said that not there's the pre-Socratics really answered all the questions. We've got more nuance with them and more technical with them, but there's no questions that they asked that have not been no questions that we have today that have not already been asked before. Even Socrates, they asked them all, the ancients. But we've just refined them a great deal. But we just keep going in circles with our philosophical things. Nothing new is coming. Nothing new under the sun.
Okay, I still don't understand it. Okay, what is self-existence again?
It is that which exists and is of itself. It's not dependent. It can't be changed. If self-existence changes, then it is dependent upon that which brings a change. For example, when I get sunburned, the sun, I'm dependent on the sun's acting upon me for doing that. Or food that I'm eating on, I'm dependent upon that food for the change that it brings in me. So it can't be any change. It has to be pure actuality, as Aristotle would say. No change whatsoever. Cannot be undergoing metamorphosis. Otherwise, it's an effect by definition.
Okay, you're going too fast. Okay, let me think
Sorry.
about it. What is self-existence again? Something that cannot change?
Yes, or that exists in and of itself. It's not dependent. It's not dependent. So as opposed to contingent.
Okay, so the properties of self-existence, does it have properties?
It has the property of self-existence, and it also must be simple. It can't be made up of parts, because then it is dependent upon those parts. It increases and decreases. It can't do that.
Okay, that's fine. But I want the property of self-existence.
It is that which is existent in and of itself. It's not material.
Okay, you can't say itself in a definition. That's what I'm trying to understand, right?
Why can't I do that?
It's circular.
No, it's not. It's definitional. I'm not assuming it. I'm reasoning it as a definition, just like cause and effect. Those words have meaning, and you're not circular by saying a cause is that which gives rise to an effect. That's just what the word means. Self-existence is that which is self-existent. It's not dependent upon something else.
Okay, that's a property. It doesn't depend on something else.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I still am not convinced with the definition of the exist. To be.
Okay. Is it ambiguous to you? Because I mean, we've got two things. We've got being and non-being, something and nothing, to exist or not exist.
A lot of words that you're using are ambiguous.
Okay, which ones?
For example, exist, contingent. You are using self-existence to define contingent.
Yes. You have to. They're both necessary to talk about such things. If in fact contingency exists, the only way you can understand it is in light of self-existence.
So how can I say if a thing is contingent?
It's something that is dependent for its existence.
Again,
it's changing. It's changing.
So you have added one more sentence to their changing. You said first something that depends on something else for its existence. Now you're saying something that changes.
Yeah, well, I mentioned that earlier too.
Okay, so something that depends on something else and that something changes. So do I put a conjunction there?
Put a what?
Conjunction or and?
I guess.
Something that depends on something else for its existence and changes.
Yeah, or it happens.
Okay.
Since you were born, you're contingent. You happen.
So you mean to say the universe is contingent?
I am saying there's a contingent element to the universe because you are part of that universe, are you not?
Yes, I'm part of the universe. I agree.
Okay.
So the universe has a part that is contingent and the part that's non-contingent.
Yes. There must be a distinction, ontological distinction, because the law, you'll violate the law of identity if you say that the contingency is the necessary as well. They can't be the same thing because you're saying something what it is and its opposite at the same time in the same relationship.
Okay, how can self-existence change contingent thing?
Well, this seems rather obvious because it had to happen it into existence.
So that means it has to change, right?
Which has to change?
Self-existence?
No, it cannot undergo change. It's not possible.
That's why it cannot affect contingent things.
Oh no, it can affect stuff into
How
existence, but
how
it
can
just
it
cannot
affect?
undergo. It cannot undergo ontological
I
change.
mean, how can it affect?
I'm sorry.
I don't understand how it can affect.
Um,
How
um,
can self-existence affect contingent things without changing?
um, I'm not saying it's undergoing some kind of change within itself. It is
No, that's
affecting
no,
things to
no, that's
happen.
not. No, that's not my question. Is how can self-existence change something else without changing?
Um, I'm not.
Okay, can you? Okay, you say. Okay, let me give an example. I know it's not. It's my question is, for example, can you close your door without changing yourself?
No, because I'm contingent.
Okay, so in the same way, how can self-existence change something that is contingent? How? What is the mechanism that it uses?
The mechanisms.
Yes.
I don't. I don't see how that's the instruments that he uses. I mean, it's.
Okay. Okay. In your word, okay. Instrument. What instruments does it use?
Um, it's not. It's not. It's not needing. It's got to be something that's done by its own being. It cannot necessarily use instruments in order to do something because it's simple. It can't be made of parts.
I don't care if it's simple or it's made of parts. I want to
Well,
know how it. So this self-existent thing created the universe.
um,
So this self-existent thing is non-physical.
yes, it has
Okay.
to be.
How can non-physical thing create a physical thing?
Um, I don't see that's a problem at all.
You don't see a problem?
Mm-mm. Because
Okay.
physicality is contingent, right?
I don't know. No, physicality is not contingent.
Oh, can you give me an example
Okay.
of something physical that's not contingent?
Everything is not. Say it again.
Can you give me an example of something that is physical and is self-existent? Everything's contingent that you know. I can
Again,
act. This is
still.
contingent. I can act upon this you know stuff here. Everything.
Uh, okay, it is also acting upon you, right?
I'm sorry.
It is also acting upon you. When you're acting upon it, it is also acting upon you.
Uh, well, I wouldn't say it's acting upon me, but I say it can have an effect on me. In other words, I don't want to say acting upon me as if it has some kind of a volition or efficiency to it. I'm not saying that because it's
Okay.
inanimate. Inanimate things can't act. They can't choose.
Yeah, I know they cannot choose. That's not what I'm saying. I'm not going into the intentions or anything. To every action, there is an opposite reaction, right?
Hmm.
Okay, so if you're acting upon it, it is also acting upon you.
I don't know. I don't know if it's acting upon me. There's a
Okay,
there's a relationship between us, a causal relationship. So I guess
okay,
you could
you're
say
sitting on
that.
a chair, right?
Uh-huh.
The chair is pushing you up. That's why you're able to sit on it.
Yes, that in that sense, the chair is yes
Okay, you
affecting
both
me.
are contingent upon each other. Well, everything in this universe is contingent upon each other, right?
Well, not necessarily contingent on
Yes,
everything.
yes, yes, it is. I can show you.
Okay.
Do you know law of gravitation?
Yes.
Okay. So what does it say?
Um, well, it's the mass and according to the size
Okay.
of the object is,
Every mass, if there are two masses, they attract each other.
huh?
So every objects, all the objects in the world, they are contingent upon each other. They can act upon each other.
Yes, but what I'm
Okay.
saying, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. What I'm saying is your contingent definition has two parts in it. One is the dependence and one is the change.
Okay.
Okay. I'm I'm not problem with the depends. I don't have a problem with the change. I know everything can affect other.
Uh-huh.
So everything can change every other object in this universe.
Uh-huh.
But dependence, I'm not sure. That part I don't get it.
Well, I'm not saying you said that I'm dependent on everything in the universe. I'm not, because
No, that's
there's
not what I said. I said everything in this universe can change you.
can change me.
Well,
Uh,
actually, it is everything in this universe is changing you.
Not everything, because there's
Yes,
something
everything.
there's a particle in China that's not interacting with me.
It is. It is
Not
pulling you towards you.
everything is not gravity science.
No, everything that has a mass can pull you.
Right, but it's not.
It is.
Every single particle in the universe
Yes, if
is
it has mass, it can pull you.
it can, but I'm saying, is it?
I mean, is it? Yes, it is.
Okay. Well, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
That's what a lot of gravitation says.
Okay.
So, so my problem is not the change, but the depend part of your contingency.
Well, there's only two. You got two categories. You've got that which is self-existent, that which is dependent. Okay. I'm not talking about the relationship of who and what is dependent upon. I'm just saying it is dependent by its definition. It happens. It changes.
Uh,
Whether everything depends on everything else in the universe, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of irrelevant to me.
yeah, it's irrelevant. I agree. That's not what. Okay, I have a problem with the definition of contingent.
Hmm.
As you said it has two parts, right?
Um, Contingent has two parts.
One, you said something that depends upon something else for its existence,
Uh-huh.
and it changes.
Okay. There may be other elements to it. I don't know. I mean,
Uh, okay, what I mean to say is, I have you already agreed that universe is eternal.
there must be an element to the. If you're defining the universe of all that exists, yes, there
Is
must be
all
an.
that exists. All that exists.
Now, because be careful. Let me.
Okay,
Let
what
me.
is universe to you?
I'm sorry.
What is universe to you?
Okay. Yeah, that's what we need to do. We need to define our terms here,
Yes,
because
that's what I want to do first. Okay,
okay,
what is universe?
some people define a universe as all that is contingent. Like Carl Sagan, the universe is all there is and all there ever will be. And
Okay,
I think he's using a contingent definition there, but that's a faulty definition. I think the universe must be defined as all that is, and necessarily, because of the law of non-contradiction, there must include also God, if you will, or that which is self-existent.
okay, okay. If I define universe as matter, energy, and space time, do you have a problem with that?
You must make a distinction between matter and energy from my perspective, because if you want to say energy is the self-existent, that which brings everything about.
No, I'm not saying energy is not self-existent. I'm not talking about self-existence at all.
Okay. Well, then,
Energy
no,
is
your
part of the
universe is
universe.
not adequate then. You've got
Okay,
to have the category of self-existence in there somehow.
okay. Is universe eternal now?
The universe doesn't exist if you don't include
N-
self-existence.
No, I'm not asking. Okay, you I granted you law of non-contradiction, right?
Uh-huh.
And the universe exists, right? Because you're part of the universe.
Yes.
Okay. And law of conservation of mass and energy says you can neither create mass and energy,
Yes.
so it must
Within
be
a closed
eternal.
system.
Yes, universe is a closed system.
Okay. Well, you're defining the closed system in a certain way then.
In which way?
Well, I mean, you got to be careful that you don't equivocate when you talk about the law of conservation, that you're not saying that everything exists. When you talk about law of conservation, you're talking about the contingent universe, that everything that we have is here. Um, but and if you're saying that which is here does not have any element of self-existence, you're speaking
I'm
nonsense.
not talking about self-existence yet. I don't know if self-existence exists or not. I don't know.
Okay,
I'm
but I'm
trying to.
saying I'm saying it's a logical necessity, but because of the law of non-contradiction.
No, it is not. Prove it. Okay,
I,
first of all, you're saying law of non-contradiction, right?
uh-huh.
Can you prove it?
No, I asked that as a premise, because
Okay.
if you don't grant that, then there's no inquiry. We may as well close it down right now, because
Okay, there's still an inquiry.
I'm sorry?
There is still an inquiry if that law of non-contradiction is not granted.
No.
There is still an inquiry.
No, there's not, because you can look up the law of explosion, or the principle of explosion, on Wikipedia. In other words, once you deny the law of non-contradiction, the exact opposite is.
Okay. There's a problem here.
Okay.
The problem is I'm denying your version of law of non-contradiction.
Okay.
Okay, that's why I said I'm not denying the law of non-contradiction. Okay, the way you expressed it, I say it does not apply.
Are you using the law of non-contradiction to make that statement?
No.
Yes,
Wait a minute.
are.
Okay. Okay, if you want, I can demonstrate law of non-contradiction.
Okay, go ahead.
Okay. Do you know what a proposition is?
Yes.
Okay, what is it?
Well, it's going to have content that is a relationship between a subject and a predicate that is measured by the law of non-contradiction.
No.
Okay.
I will define a proposition as something whose truth value can be evaluated. Which that means.
How do you evaluate?
Okay, we will come to that later. But what a proposition is, something that is either true or false.
Right, by the law of non-contradiction. You
No.
don't know that you said it, but you just basically said my definition.
No, that's not what I said. I'm defining a proposition as something that is true or false.
By law of non-contradiction.
No, it's a definition.
You are measuring the relationship of a subject and a predicate.
No.
And you're using the law of non-contradiction. You say something cannot be and not be at the same time in the same relationship.
No, that's not what I said. A proposition is something.
You don't know that's what you said, but that's what you said.
No, that's not what I said. I'm defining a proposition as a statement that is either true or false.
Right. But how do you test it? What is the instrument for testing whether it's true or false?
Yeah, that depends
on the laws
on
of logic, right?
No. What is truth?
That which corresponds to reality.
Okay, so how do you? It means that it should correspond to reality, right?
Yeah, the idea corresponding with a thing, I think, is what Aristotle defined.
So you use your senses to do that.
Well, you have to have sense perception as we relate to this world. You can have abstract ideas in your mind, but if you want to relate to the actual world, you've got to have your sense perception. That's all we've got. It's the only connection we've got to the world.
Okay, that's correct. So for this definition, I have not used law of non-contradiction yet.
Yes, you have. You used it throughout the whole thing. That's how you're analyzing it, whether you like it or not. That's what you're using.
No. Okay. How did I use it?
When you just said, how did I use it, you were employing the law of non-contradiction. In other words, the statement you said was propositional. You ask a question, and there was a relationship between those words that is marked by coherence. You can't do anything without the law of non-contradiction. It's not possible.
That's not what I said. I said I can derive law of non-contradiction. But the law of non-contradiction that you are using, your version, it assumes something is already existing.
I'm sorry, say it again.
Okay. The version that to me, law of non-contradiction is a proposition can be either true or false.
Right.
Okay, that's what my proposition law of non-contradiction is.
Yes, and the instrument for measurement for that is going to be the law of non-contradiction.
Okay, but your version is different from what I said.
How so?
Because I just said it abstract. Mine is more abstract than yours.
How so?
You were assuming something, right?
I'm sorry?
You were saying something can be and cannot be at the same time.
I'm saying something cannot be.
Okay, you have not defined what something is.
I could say the abstract concept of two. Two cannot be two and non-two at the same time and in the same relationship. You can change the relationship, yes, but not at the same time, same relationship.
What is a relationship?
For example, I can say that I am both a father and a son without violating the law of non-contradiction, because my fatherhood and my sonhood are in different relationships.
Okay, what is a relationship again? You were giving me an example. Define relationship.
My relationship to my son is that I'm a father. My relationship to my father is that I'm a son.
You were giving an example. I want a definition for relationship.
I just told you. I have a relationship.
You were giving me an example.
A relationship is a way of measurement between the whatever it is that the thing that you're talking about.
Okay, whatever is again ambiguous. There's a lot of ambiguity in your argument. That was the problem.
I like you atheists, you know.
Okay, how do you know I'm an atheist? Did I say I'm an
I'm
atheist?
taking a stab in the dark. Are you an atheist, Science?
No. See?
Go ahead and answer. Are you an atheist?
Well, I'm an apatheist.
You're what?
Apatheist.
You're a pantheist?
No, apatheist.
A patheist?
Yes.
What's that mean?
That means, okay, it's the kind of atheism where we don't care if God exists or not.
Oh, out of your pathos.
Okay.
You don't care, but your pathos needs to be informed with your logos, does it not?
I don't know what you're talking.
Logos is logic. You know, you don't live by your feelings. The way that you came to the conclusion that you don't care is that you decided with your mind that you don't care, but it's really not an argument. It's really just an emotion, which you don't want to live by your emotions.
I didn't say it's an argument. I just labeled myself.
Well, you described yourself as such, right?
Yes, I described as such.
Okay. Do you want to be a thinker or do you want to be a feeler? Because you just described yourself as a feeler.
No, I'm a thinker.
Now, okay. Oh, good. Then you need to have some logos behind your pathos. Now, pathos is a good thing. It's good to have feelings, but you need to have your pathos informed with your logos, which must be overridden by your ethos, which is your good living.
Can logic influence? Okay, I still didn't understand it. Okay.
How long have you lived here?
7 years now, maybe 8 years.
Do you have a family?
No, I'm single.
Oh, okay. Do you have any family living?
Yeah.
Oh, good. Okay.
I don't know, where were we?
We were talking about you're a pathological atheist.
Yeah. Before that.
That my words are ambiguous.
Yes, exactly.
I think that's just a cop-out you guys use.
No, it's not a cop-out. You have
Really?
not given you have not given me any concrete definitions. Your definitions are circular to yourself. To say contingent, you're using self-existence, and self-existence back to contingent.
Oh my goodness.
That's not how science works.
Oh, okay. You're just obfuscating science.
Okay, that's not my point. My point is your law of non-contradiction, the version that you are using, it does not apply in an empty universe.
An empty universe. Is an empty universe something?
I don't know.
Well, you just described it. You can talk about ambiguity. Tell me what it is that you're talking about.
Empty universe is where there is no elements in the set, in the universe.
So does the set exist?
No, it does not.
Then it's nothing.
So it does not apply there.
Well, yeah, because you're saying nothing. Nothing exists. You're saying nothing exists in nothing. Well, so what?
So your law of non-contradiction does not apply.
Yeah, it doesn't apply to nothing. Sure.
Okay. So I cannot grant you them.
But you didn't posit nothing. You posited an empty universe, which is something.
Okay. Okay. Still, I think you're playing with words.
You guys just don't like to lose. That's your problem.
No.
Do I frustrate you?
No, you're not frustrating me.
Oh, okay, good. You're entertaining me. I like talking to you.
So you still don't see any problems with your law of non-contradiction that you're using?
No, you haven't demonstrated any such.
I demonstrated that it doesn't apply. Okay, it also doesn't apply to non-existent things.
But non-existent things are nothing. And so why would you talk about nothing? You can't talk about nothing. You can't even have an idea of nothing because the idea is something.
Okay. So according to you, the universe was created, right?
The contingent universe was created, yes.
Okay. So does the law of non work then? Because there's nothing, the universe did not exist.
Oh, no,
So how
when I
can,
said that, no, before there was nothing, there was still God.
okay, but you were talking about you can then universe can self-create.
No, because that's a violation of the law of non-contradiction. It had to
But
exist and not.
law of non-contradiction doesn't work on non-existent things.
But I'm not positing non-existence. I'm positing God.
No, you have a problem with self-creation, right? No, you have a problem with self-creation, right?
Yes, because it's an effect without a cause. It makes itself before it exists.
And why is that?
Because it would
What's
need to
the
be and
problem?
not be
No.
at the same time in the same relationship in order to create itself before it
And
existed.
is it law of non-contradiction?
I'm sorry?
Is it law of non-contradiction?
I don't understand what you're saying.
No, are you applying the law of non-contradiction for self-creation?
Yes.
You're saying self-creation is.
If you're making a hypothetical that something exists out of nothing, you have to in order to
Okay,
analyze it, you've got to use the law of non-contradiction.
yeah, but if a thing is not existing, you cannot apply law of non-contradiction.
Well, we're speaking hypothetically about something.
No, we're not speaking hypothetically. You said God created the universe, right?
Yes.
But
no, I'm not saying God is logic. The Bible says that God is logos. In other words, he doesn't have logic. He is order himself.
No, you believe in you believe the Bible literally.
I do indeed. Literally, in the sense that you interpret it as each genre is written. I don't mean in a wooden sense, but I mean yes. I believe that it is the word of God.
Okay. So you still didn't get it right. My point.
I'm a little slow. Can you explain it again?
Okay, if universe did not exist,
mm-hmm.
and if God created the universe, the contingent part of the universe,
right?
Okay.
It's not a part. I mean, it's just something that he creates by fiat.
Okay, but I'm saying that universe self-created.
The contingent universe self-created?
Yeah, and it does not violate law of non-contradiction.
You're really getting silly now.
No, it's okay. You said that you already admitted that it cannot be applied to nothing, right?
Right, and so if there ever were a time when there absolutely nothing, we would have nothing today, because of law of non-contradiction.
That's not what I said. That's not. If there's nothing, then law of non-contradiction would not apply.
Right. Okay. And there would be no law of non-contradiction right now, right?
Okay, so there's always something, right?
Yes.
Okay, why can't that something be universe?
It is. That's what I say.
Okay, so then what's the need of God?
I'm sorry?
Then where is the need of God? You're saying God is necessary, right?
Yeah, because without necessity, you can't have contingency.
Okay, so where is God?
He's under my chair.
Okay.
he's
good.
Non-corporeal.
Huh?
He's non-corporeal. He cannot have material existence because matter by definition is contingent. I think you cut out there for a sec. Hello?
Are you here? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you cut out for a sec there.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay. How can we distinguish between your God and an imaginary thing?
An imaginary thing is not necessary.
Your God is also not necessary.
Then what is necessary then?
Nothing is necessary.
You say nothing. You're talking about necessary being is not needed for contingency? Or are you saying nothing as a positive existence is necessary?
I mean, there is nothing such. When I say nothing necessary, it means there's no thing called.
There's no such thing as necessity.
Yes.
Oh, okay. Well, if that's true, then you cannot exist without violating the law of non-contradiction. I've never received a serious challenge to this argument.
Because your argument is ambiguous. It's vague.
Oh man.
Because you were defining things in such a way that they don't make sense.
They're all too coherent. That's your problem. You don't like it.
It's not that I don't like it. I want to like it. I wish there was really a God.
No, you don't.
Yes, I do.
No, you don't, because you would be able to counter my argument. You can't. You keep going into nonsense and saying, "Oh, something can make itself before it exists."
Yeah, but it does not violate any law. That's
Sure,
the
it does.
thing.
The law of non-contradiction, which we laid as a foundation.
Okay, law of non-contradiction does not apply to non-existent things. That's what you said.
But do you exist?
I exist. The law of
in your
non-contradiction.
inquiry,
Okay, law of non-contradiction applies after I exist, not before I exist.
okay, so as soon as you made yourself before you existed, then
I
logic.
don't think you're understanding. Okay, does law of non-gravitation apply before the masses are created? The matter is created.
The matter is not created or destroyed. Remember?
Yes. No, I'm saying that in your.
From my perspective.
Yeah, from your perspective.
From my perspective,
from
gravity
mm-hmm.
is a part of God's creation.
Correct, but it doesn't apply before the matter was created, right?
I can't say for sure. I don't know.
You don't know?
Mm-mm.
What do you mean by? I mean.
Well, if it's contingent, yes, it had some time when it began, but the logical, material progression, I don't know. Probably at the Big Bang. Don't you agree?
I don't know. I'm just asking a question. I just asked a question. If the law of gravitation apply before matter was created?
Probably not, I'll say.
Okay. So similarly, before anything existed, law of non-contradiction that you put it does not apply.
Okay, but gravity is not a an instrument for inquiry. It's not something that's I mean, in a sense, it's necessary in a sense that it's non-changing, and it's got to be a property of self-existence. Gravity is not necessary.
That's not what I said. I just show you an example. How
okay.
I'm not. I just show you an example.
Okay.
So the way I don't have a problem with law of non-contradiction. I only have a problem with the way you put it.
Okay.
So something. If you say something, it should exist.
Say it again.
Okay. The law of non-contradiction that you put it only applies after the thing comes into existence. And you.
No, I think it must be the coherence that governs all existence. I believe that God is logos. He is logic.
Okay. Do you think existence is a property of the matter, or what?
A property. It's either is or is not. I don't know if you call it a property separate from its being.
So it's not a property, right?
Existence is a property. I'm not sure.
Okay. Okay, do you have a problem with my definition of existence? I define existence as if something exists, it implies that there is an instance in reality with the properties of that instance, of that.
With the properties of what?
Okay, with the specified properties.
I guess. I don't think I have a problem with that.
You don't have a problem with that, right?
I don't think so.
So if I specify some properties, you need to be able to show an instance.
I need to be able to what?
Show an instance.
Show an instance. No, because what you're saying is that it must be material then, right?
Yes.
Hmm?
Yes.
Okay. Well, no, because you can't have necessary being cannot be material by definition.
Okay, then how can non-material thing create material?
Um, the exact mechanism, I don't know. It just does it.
Okay, so you don't know.
Hmm.
Like, you don't know the answer.
No, exactly the how. No.
So your argument is wrong. Then your argument does not apply.
Listen, science. I got to get going, man. I got to go home.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much for your time.
Okay. I mean, we can continue to talk, and if you got any questions, shoot me a message or something like that.
Okay, maybe I should do more research on your argument.
Okay. Sounds
Okay.
good. All right,
Okay.
man. Thanks. We'll see
Okay.
you.
Thank you.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.